now for the disclaimer for every episode of Always Angelic Aspialis.
Yes, at Always Angelic Aspialis, we value the lived experiences of those that identify as neurodiverse, autistic, chronically pained, have mental health conditions, that identify with different pronouns, culture, backgrounds, sexuality, and so on.
We appreciate and acknowledge lived experiences as vital to the wonderland of Always Angelic Aspialis.
However, our experiences may be different from those who have different experiences, and our advice, experience, stories, personal mantras, etc. do not replace medical or diagnostic information.
We are not therapists, counsellors, or doctors. However, we hope you find another episode of Always Angelic Aspialis helpful.
We welcome everybody to be, live, thrive, and belong as different, not less.
Hello.
Hi George.
Hi Susanna. How you doing?
Hi. Yeah, good. How are you?
Pretty good.
That's good. Welcome to episode 5. Whoops, sorry, I mucked that up. Season 5, episode 1 of Always Angelic Aspialis.
Yay! All right, what's the subject today on Always Angelic Aspialis?
So today's subject is all about mental health and pop culture. So it's about Grrrl Interrupted, which is a 1999 film. And so we'll be talking about, mental health in film. I guess, anything that comes out of that, and also maybe your own mental health stories if you want to share. Also, any dreams you have.
I wasn't quite aware we'd be talking about that film. It's just I actually haven't seen that one myself. I've been meaning to, but I haven't seen it.
That's okay. We can also talk about movies we've seen together. I guess if we've seen a movie that we've not seen together, as in we've seen it at the same time, but movie we've both seen that's got a mental health topic, or even a TV show, and just go from there.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, maybe you can list some films that have that focus, and I'll see if I've seen them. And if we do, maybe we can talk about it together.
All right. Well, sometimes get my mind straight. I'll search up mental health related films and see. Because I remember I saw One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was pretty good. Apart from a couple things that dated poorly. Black Swan I saw once.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that Little Miss Sunshine has a bit of that here and there. Any of those?
Mm-hmm. I have seen Black Swan.
Ah, yes. Black Swan was pretty good, wasn't it? And it's
Mm-hmm.
you've told me I think you're not usually into horror, but you happened to see Black Swan, I think, and there are some pretty horrific parts in that film, I reckon.
Yeah, there was, especially when I think
spoiler
one
alert,
of the.
perhaps. Sorry.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I feel like we
Sorry,
should probably say spoiler alert. I didn't mean to interrupt so much. I'm sorry. I'll try not to.
It's okay. That's really good because it's I have to prepare myself. Yes. So with the movie, I did see it, and there was a couple of scenes where there was a bit of gore, not too much. There was a scene where one of the dancers was ripping off his skin, and there came a bit of blood, I believe, and it just was a bit of distortion.
Yeah, that was pretty haunting scene to me. Isn't it? I'm pretty sure that would have been the scene where it looks like string cheese and she's peeling the skin off the finger and stuff, and it's like, whoa, what the fuck? I mean, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there were a couple of scenes in that were kind of slightly edgy, which I kind of really liked. But I feel like what I know about that movie is it kind of did depict some of the issues that the dancers do have in real life, maybe potentially body issues or mental health issues. But I feel like that movie is so dark, it doesn't represent the joy and the magic and those things that can be found when you're dancing as well.
Yeah, I feel like there certainly could be, because I know it was like a spiral down overall in a way, but then I don't think every movie has to have the joy to it, perhaps. I mean, Darren
Mm-hmm.
Aronofsky's not exactly known for joyful movies, I reckon. Requiem
Mm-hmm.
for a Dream is another good one that's in that case about drug addiction.
Interesting. I haven't seen that one, sorry.
It's that's okay. It's actually, I remember watching it when I was probably 16, 17. It's an R-rated movie. I was probably slightly young for it according to many people's standards, but I mean, look, I know this is a bit of an aside, but I think that people thought that I could watch less than I actually was capable of watching. I knew movie violence is fake. I knew movie gore is fake. I know what bothers me in films. Like, even at 15, I knew. So it wouldn't have really affected me so badly, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I remember the time that I watched a movie. I don't know what it was called. If I remember, I'll tell you. Where there was a bit of let's just say an assault scene. I'm not going to go into it because it was
Oh,
not too much, but like I don't want to
okay.
go any further than that. But let's just say I saw that in the first 5 minutes of the film, and I was only in year two, and I'll tell you how I watched it. I was at my nana's house. My nana was sleeping on the couch like a cutie, and I ended up watching it
Oh,
by by curiosity, and I didn't go too far into it because I kind of freaked me out, and also I was tired.
I'm sorry to hear.
Yeah, but that was the first time I watched something that was really like jarring, and I guess showed kind of what happens when you're an adult.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know I said what I said, but I still think there are ages that are too young for that sort of thing, you know? So sorry you had to experience
Mhm.
that. Too young to see that
Yeah,
sort of thing in movies. You know what I mean?
yeah. It didn't affect me that much because I didn't know what really had happened, but I knew that like it didn't look good.
Mm. I mean, I was always that teenager who was looking out for, oh, what's the most violent film I can get away with watching? Because I was always curious
Oh.
about, and I had an interest in film censorship and what gets different classifications, and I was curious in that aspect too.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Like, I was always looking for scary movies, dark movies, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, that's really interesting. With me, I was more curious about like movies to do with like eating disorder theme or mental health theme, but a lot of those were too jarring, and if I wanted to watch them, I couldn't watch them because I had to watch them with an adult. Because for some movies, I had to kind of have an adult with me in the house. But like, I mean, when I got older, it was easier because when you're like 16, 17, you can kind of get away with a lot more, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not sure how many people actually know this, but with an MA film, as long as you have an adult guardian with you, if you're under 15, you technically can watch any MA film with an adult, but it's got to be a
Mm,
parent or guardian.
yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, yeah.
So I mean, that's a bit strange to me. Even stranger is that there's a law in Queensland. I'm not sure if they changed it by now. I don't think they have. But there's a law in Queensland where you can take up to a 2-year-old to an R18 plus film, which is strange to me.
Huh,
And that one
yeah.
is completely restricted to adults, except for that one law in Queensland. So that's
Mhm.
odd.
I mean, I suppose like from what I know about like development of babies, because of my background, they typically babies would remember seeing a movie like when they're a baby or when they're like under two, from what I know about like child development and what I know from research. But like that is a bit odd, just because I feel like if you're carrying a baby with you who's young and you're watching a very adult film, people might judge you for that. But I honestly, the baby or the infant probably wouldn't remember.
Yeah, like if someone took a baby to, like, I don't know, The Wolf of Wall Street, some film that like earns its R rating, and I actually don't really care for the film that much anymore.
Huh,
But that definitely, I'd be glad a toddler would not remember that, you know.
interesting. I actually want to see that movie so badly. I bought it on like rent at one of those kiosks at like the shops from
Oh, the
Dubai.
kiosk.
Yeah, and I was gonna watch it right, and because I was of age, and I literally was a bit anxious about it, but also I was like, oh, there's gonna be sex, there's gonna be all these things that I don't know if I feel comfortable watching. Should have watched it because in like 2 or 3 days I had to return it, and I didn't watch it, and I wish I did at 18, which was like you're allowed to watch it when you're like 18.
Yeah, yeah, and there's a ton of like sex scenes, drug use, F words. Like, I mean, it's I don't even I'm not offended by language at all. But there's a ton
Mm-hmm.
of F words in that film. Like, absolute ton. But yeah, there's definitely the
Mm-hmm.
sex, there's drugs, but my main concern wasn't even the sex and drugs and stuff. It's just I feel like the film was sexist and it was based off a white collar criminal. But in a way, I also feel that it had great pacing. The film had great pacing. It had some darkly comedic bits that I quite liked, to be
Mm-hmm.
honest. But this main character is such a scumbag, and they don't. I'm all for exploring scumbags. Martin Scorsese has done that well in the past. Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Taxi Driver, that sort of thing. King of comedy. But it just didn't work for me with Wolf of Wall Street. It barely. The common criticisms are they don't show the victims of the financial scams that Jordan Belfort ran, and Jordan Belfort, of course, really financially scammed these people, and it's based on his book and all that. And I just I know Martin has the thing about, present the person neutrally, but I still think, even something like Goodfellas or Casino shows the negatives of what people are doing, but Wolf just doesn't.
Interesting. Hmm.
But also
Yeah.
it's definitely an R-rated movie. Never watch it around a single kid.
Yeah, for sure. Wow, I did not know that at all, and I'm happy I didn't watch it yet. I will watch it eventually, but like, yeah, that's interesting because I thought it'd be about like, you know, all the glamour and I guess the stress, but also more just like I don't know, just like the really dirty stuff that happens.
There is. There's most definitely. I would count up to at least half a dozen sex scenes, so it's definitely dirty. But I would
Oh,
also,
dirty.
I,
Like
I
that.
didn't I didn't
Sorry.
fully count. I didn't fully count or anything, but I would also say that in 3 hours, like it moves so fast with everything, financial scams, effects of drugs, all that stuff. You know, uh, Basically, it's not just it's depicted from Jordan Belfort's perspective, and he's glamorizing all these things basically, and so it appears glamorized. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The acting is good. I think Margot Robbie was quite good in this film in the role she has, although I take particular issue with a couple of scenes involving her. I didn't want to spoil the movie, of course, but yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
one
That's okay.
particular. I'll be vague, but there's one
Yeah.
particular scene. People who have seen the film will know one particular scene involving a teddy bear that I outright hate.
Oh,
So yeah, there's that.
interesting. Yeah. Wow. That's yeah. That got me thinking, and I don't know what to say because I'm a bit like socially awkward, as you all know.
I
Yeah.
exist.
I also wanted to say yeah, on this episode we should probably split up into a couple because like I feel like I'll keep up my rule of doing like every segment is a new episode. Like every 15 minutes I do a new recording, so it'd be like a new episode so I can have like more content coming out of this conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Sounds good.
Yeah, and we've got 4 minutes or maybe 3 minutes to talk about anything else in this episode, and then after that we might do another episode. We probably will have to do another episode because I'm curious to see what else you have to say and what else I have to say as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm wondering, George, for this segment, I mean, for this episode, I guess, do you have anything else you want to say before we wrap up for this episode?
I've got the very profound thing of nothing.
Oh, that's okay.
I,
I have
I
the very,
I thought it'd be funny if I built it up because I had no idea what to say.
yeah, I'm also very profound right now. I have nothing to say. Nothing, which is also something, which is also actually nothing at the same time.
Mhm.
I will come back and you'll come back after this, and we'll be on to the second episode of season 5.
Yes.